It's 2nd June 1916. The Germans are storming a French fort of the Verdun defensive line. Originally built between 1881 and 1884, for a garrison of 150 soldiers, it was already considered outdated when it was finished. The day the battle started, there were 250 soldiers inside under the command of Sylvain Eugene Raynal. In August 1915, part of the garrison were sent elsewhere. Same with some of the field artillery of the fort. In February 1916, a direct hit from a 420 mm knocked off the turret of the fort with its twin cannons. The battle lasted until June the 7th. Fighting was fierce in every corridor and room. The Germans locked the entries of fresh air from the outside and used gas and flamethrowers against the brave French soldiers. Water was scarce and dust, smoke, and gas were everywhere in the air. 100 non-combatants were evacuated during the night of the 5th of June. Next night at 2 a.m., 2 companies belonging to the 321st and 328th Infantry Regiment with artillery support tried to break the siege to the fort, but were stopped by German machine guns in the roof. At 6:30 a.m., the attack was cancelled and French soldiers left. Pigeons were used regularly during the war to communicate different units. There were some of them at the fort, and when they were totally surrounded, only the pigeons could carry the messages of the desperate defenders. Le Valiant was the last one. The pigeon carried a message asking for a surrounding position to use optical signals and saying this was their last pigeon and they hold as best they can, but they need to leave as soon as possible. The pigeon was intoxicated with the dust and struggled to deliver the message, but it was delivered and died minutes after. The body and the message can be seen at the Mont Valérien Military Pigeon Museum at Charisse. The fort was bombarded since March 9th with 8,000 shells every day, which are still seen nowadays. Finally, on 7th June at 6 a.m., Raynal surrendered the fort, and the survivors inside with full honors allowed by the Germans in recognition to the brave defenders. Raynal was introduced to Crown Prince Wilhelm, who was the commander at the Verdun sector. French lost between 100 and 150 men, while Germans seem to have had 1,500 to 2,500 casualties. The fort remained in German hands until November the 2nd, when a French patrol found it abandoned by the Germans in the previous days. The French government improved the fort, repairing part of it and making it bigger. The Battle of Verdun, where Fort de Vaux's battle belongs, were brutal months when the Germans tried to break the Allied lines and stop the trench warfare. It lasted from February to December 1916 and caused more than 700,000 casualties. More than 70,000 per month. Worst battle of the First World War. If you are interested in the history of Fort de Vaux and its battle, you can visit it nowadays. Not all parts of the fort are open to the visitors, but some places of it can be seen. The fort was a popular map in the Battlefield 1 video game, which inspired the original Lego build you saw in this video.